Hey, welcome back. I got the trailer hooked up, got a winch on there. We're probably off to get another non-running relic, put it that way. And we've slightly upgraded our luxury on the tow rig. Now have cruise control and a radio with air conditioning, so this will be nice. What do we have here? Check our straps. It's a homely little thing. How much is gas where you live? Alright, so here's what we have drug home today. I would tell you what it is, but I myself am not positive on that. I was told it was originally off of a golf course and potentially had a side mount gang mower or something on it. And that kind of makes sense because it has this like cylinder mount on it, and it has these big trunnion balls down below here. But I believe it all to be shop built. Looks like has a Timken rear end, maybe a Ford transmission. There is one major problem I'm going to show you right now. See that line right there? Water's gotten into this transmission and cracked the housing and rusted up things inside it. So that's not ideal. If anybody recognizes that shifter style or any of that transmission shape, if that looks familiar to anybody, let me know, because I'm going to probably need some parts for it. But it's a goofy thing. So the box coming out of the engine has a double output like that, and one shaft goes all the way forwards on the bottom to this like gearbox, and that sends power back into the transmission. and then that sends power to the rear end. And the upper shaft goes through here, goes up there. Through the front there is a little hand clutch here, and that will engage a hydraulic pump up front that I'm not sure, probably doesn't work. It has this huge, and I mean, that thing is probably, I bet that thing holds, oh, wouldn't surprise me if that thing didn't hold 30 gallons of fuel. That's a big fuel tank up front. Can't get the lid off, so I don't know. But it's got little things like this, like they put that, it's for the most part really well built. But I do believe it to be completely shop built. This wasn't manufactured, I don't think, by a company. I don't see any tags on it. You know, the fenders are pretty nice. They've got a piece of round bar, or the edges are rolled or something. Front wheels, they swapped out previous owner. These just look like spare rims off a Dodge pickup truck. 3/4 1-ton rims, but that's interesting. It's got an 8-bolt hub. Front ones, they said, had calcium chloride in them, I think. Said they were rotted out completely. Obviously, you know, these pedals were probably off of something. They would make sense. And then this is your throttle pedal. You have a fuel gauge and a speedometer actually in the dash. Steering gearbox is down below here. Obviously, it's probably gonna need a little work. Looks like there's maybe some numbers on the side of the transmission there. This is the brake master cylinder. Yeah, brake master cylinder right there. There's another shot of that transmission. And the dual output box right there. Has juice brakes on the back. No brakes on the front axle, but it is leaf sprung all the way around, which is kind of neat. This guy here, I'm assuming, engages, it's got like 3 positions. So I don't know if there's if this is like a 2-speed auxiliary transmission or what that would be out of. I do not know. It has this massive seat. It looks like it probably had a cushion riveted around the front and the back originally. It has an old Widowmaker center split rim on this side. Large 5-lug pattern, kind of, and I think I've seen that on like old Dodge and Ford grain trucks. So I can probably find a decent set of wheels to fit it, or torch the centers out and weld them into a new set of rims. These fenders have been widened at some point in time. My plan for this thing is to, I bought it to be a doodle bug to take around like equipment shows and stuff. Put like a bench seat or an extra seat and like a toolbox, something here. So like if you run around a flea market, you can put your goodies in this area. But yeah, I would narrow it up so the rear tread matched the front tread. Probably cut that extension off the fenders because it's too wide to roll over the fenders on my trailer. Kind of looking at it now, the frame looks like it's got a little twist. I guess it's not a twist, it just looks like the springs on the left side are sagged out more, and that just might be the bushings froze up when I drew it down with the ratcheting binder, because I don't remember it being like that when I looked at it. I'll bet that comes back if you lift it or something. Yeah, I think the kind of seized up. But the spring perches are a little cobbled together the way they are. They've got decent U-bolts on them, but you can see where they had to torch, make special blocks. You know, no hitch on the back, just this one little toe point, which maybe if they pulled a gang mower was a place for something to like support, like a chain or something would go up there. They have a little clearance for the grill on the power unit right here. It's done decently. Whoop, almost lost my radiator cap here. This is a Ford, let's see, the tag in there. It's a B6PD-6002-BE with options of, it looks like, S0-90. Just Ford industrial engine. And the water pump is seized solid on it, but the engine does move. I don't know if it turns over 360, but it isn't seized solid. But it's really, really unique looking with this little rear engine setup on it and the giant fuel tank on the front. Yeah, the story of it probably came off a golf course, I believe, but I'd love to find out who built it, or maybe some of the original history or something. This side's got just a regular 20-inch like lock, what do you call it, bead rim. It's not the old like Widowmaker, but same center. We could torch the center out of this side too. It's set up where it probably had duals on it originally, and I don't think I care to put duals back on it. Yeah, starter here, everything. It's really interesting how they decided to build this thing with the dual setup, with the power takeoff on the top and the basically a V drive, you know, coming out and 90-degree and back to run the rear end. Just a lot of engineering went into it, but they cared. You know, there's a grommet around the fuel tank with the dashboard. I'll bet at some point there was a little windshield came up here. I'm really looking forward to working on this thing. I know it's going to be a decent amount of work though, so I'm not sure how soon I will get to it. I mean, even look at the miters in this frame, you know, like this was probably cut and bent and re-welded, but they did such a nice job of doing this. You know, this was done by a regular, you know, a fabricator. This wasn't just cobbled together at the golf course. But over here, this came with it. So it was advertised that that thing, engine wasn't seized, which it doesn't appear to be. Transmission is in rough shape, but the whole thing rolls. And they said that they've never heard this one run, but it was purchased along with that thing, at least at the same auction, and this one runs. However, it's not the exact same engine. This one appears to be newer than the one in there. But they look very similar. I would ideally like to get that original engine running and see what it runs like before I would swap anything out. If anybody follows Allman auctions, it appears that both of these have went through Allman's sale. That one, it looks like the tag fell off on the way home, but this tag is still on here. And there's another auction number. He said that he don't believe they came from an auction. Like the guy I got it from, I don't think came from an Allman auction. They bought it somewhere after that. But just really neat. I would say these are 50s or 60s Ford parts. This kind of looks like the engine that would be in maybe around like a Jubilee engine, I'm gonna say. If it was much newer than 60s, you would have seen, I think, a 3-cylinder engine. You wouldn't see a 4-cylinder like these. They are fairly similar though. I will give you, I think you could swap them out if you wanted. That definitely could work. But anyhow, I think this thing will be an awesome project. I think it would be a great series to fix up on the channel here. And if you know anything about something like this, know a history behind it, I don't believe it's like a Worthington, any like regular manufacturer like that. I think this was completely shop built. But if you recognize any of the components, like those gearboxes or that transmission or the rear axle, or know where on the castings or whatever to get numbers so I can find parts, I would really appreciate it. I think I'm going to end this video right here, because to like try to get this thing all running in one video, I don't think it's going to happen. I do want to do a, you know, kind of will it run style video on this thing, and I'd like to hear this power unit run as well. So we'll see what we can find with them, but they're going to be its own separate video trying to get the thing going. It's just going to be way too long to put all in one, I believe. So if any of you have any history on something like this, or have some knowledge on any of the components, I'd really appreciate it if you left a comment, or if you just think the thing is cool, leave a comment. I really appreciate all that, and I appreciate all you watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one, and hopefully I see you on the next one.